Martin? Martin, hello. Can you hear me? I don't hear you. Hello? Martin, you're mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I hear you.
How is the quality? I'm on the mobile now.
Very good. Very good quality.
Okay, then let's get started. Sorry for the technical issues here. So today's topic is then which AI use cases can every Web3 project integrate already now? So we're not speaking about some whatever science fiction or some experimental AI stuff. We are speaking about the real AI. So which AI use cases can every Web3 project already integrate already now? So that's the focus of our today's AI and the Web3 X Space. Now we are doing these X Spaces every week, every 2 weeks. So usually we try to do it every week. And this one is now on the number 23.
Martin, can you mention also what we mean by integrate? It's not manual, just that you go into a website and prompt what we mean by integrate.
Yes, by integration, we mean that we integrate it over the API. We don't mean that someone is using prompt and is using as a tool, like a one-time tool. We mean more like it's used like as a continuous, like that you integrate it via the API. You use it continuously, not that you're using it like as a one-time activity. So that's the idea. That's the idea for today's discussion. So, Tarmo.
Yes, and the emphasis is it is for continuous leveraging of AI capabilities in automated way and not set to go into a website and start asking things. No, it is fully automated. It is streamlined, free flow of information in automated way and not with some manual employee interactions in between. And why we need it is because if you don't integrate, then you have always manual integration in between. That an employee comes and starts doing something, but it's not anymore Web3. Web3 means full digitalization. If you are in Web3, you are 100% digitalization. And as soon as you start putting pieces of AI prompts with manual interaction in between, you can call it Web3, but it's not anymore fully digitalized. In Web3, you have to be fully digitalized, 100% digitalized, and it means AI has to be integrated over APIs. Martin, back to you.
Yeah, exactly. So we have to separate is AI used as a tool that I'm generating some content like a one time, and maybe I'm doing this again in 3 weeks, like some of my marketing people are generating some cool content and then we put it on the website. So, or is AI then used continuously via the integration? And that's the focus of our discussion today, because so many projects and people and everyone is speaking about AI, but now let's think on the consumers and not as a retail consumers. Let's take on the projects who are integrating. What can they integrate today? Which real AI use cases we mean? Real working use cases are there? Are there not some science fiction use cases like someone is writing some white paper or science fiction paper, or some better use cases where it's used as a utility? I mean, use cases what are a continuous integration, so that you use them via the API, so that AI becomes part of your Web3 platform. So, and we are speaking today about these use cases, and of course we are looking on them, and then we then critically analyze them, and let's see where we are getting, and yeah, and we are creating always a summary of every X space. We put them on the blog. Okay, this is now X space number 32, and we are putting as well the recordings on the YouTube, usually with a little delay, but on the blog they will be faster. So, and in a blog, the beautiful is that you can read it the summary, you can read it in, let's say, in 2 minutes, and it's a very high qualitative summary. So instead of then listening 60 minutes, you have always the option to spend 2 minutes in the X-Space blog articles. Okay, but Tarmo, let's start with the intros. Let's do some intros. Let me introduce myself first. Okay, I'm Martin. So if you see ChainAware speaking, so it's actually Martin is speaking, and I'm co-founder of ChainAware. I'm coming initially from the startup industry. I spent in one startup a company like 7 years. So we did a lot. We did linguistical processing, natural language processing. We had hundreds of thousand licenses sold for retail, for businesses. And then I got to the corporate world. So I worked at the Credit Suisse 10 years. I was VP in Zurich, vice president in Zurich. And then luckily we got, me and Tarmo, we both got into the Web3 sector. We did first the smart credit. So it's a borrow lend platform. Tarmo will say some words more about this. And then the ChainAware, which was a spin-off of smart credit. And yeah, here we are. Tarmo, would you like to intro yourself a little bit too?
Hi, I'm Tarmo. I'm distinguished architect. I've been in architecture over 25 years. I'm ex-chief architect of largest Swiss banking platform. I've been in global architecture in Credit Suisse over 10 years also. And I've built over 200 applications. I did do my PhD by Nobel Prize winner, etc., etc. And I'm also chart financial analyst and chart alternative investment analyst. And what we have here in ChainAware, these are real use cases, and we have been in Web3. It's Martin, you wrote some papers for a CFA journal in Switzerland. It's already over 10 years ago. We have been quite along in Web3. And we have very good understanding what Web3 is and what benefits Web3 and what inhibits Web3. So listen to Martin. He has very good experience. Back to you, Martin.
Oh, okay. And listen to Tarmo as well. Tarmo has as well a lot of practical experience. And we are, okay, we have a lot of educations, we have a lot of practical, but we are very pragmatical. We are always focusing on the real products. You know, it's so funny that some people have asked us, where is our white paper? I'm just saying, we don't have a white paper. We have products. Please use our products. Why should you write a white paper? This might be a little bit documentation. Okay, yeah, of course, we can spend always more time on documentation to make documentation better. But we focus on real stuff. We get real stuff working, real utility AI, not some science fiction or white paper or whatever.
And utility AI means that users or who use it benefit from it, and it is running, and people benefit from it. And it's not like you made a science fiction white paper and then you explain something, but nobody understands. And of course, you don't have product. Most of these companies don't have product or startups. We have products running already over 4 years in AI, Martin, I think, and we have use cases which benefit users. There is usage, and it is not science fiction. It is real. It gives utility. It is not to get attention. No, it is to give to users something benefit.
Okay, and let me introduce ChainAware AI. So what we are doing, and then we're getting into the key discussion. ChainAware AI, we started with the credit scoring, and credit scoring is, of course, is a pretty standard algorithm that everyone who worked along in the bank knows more or less these algorithms. And in a credit scoring, we use as well AI part, so especially for the fraud detection. So because you cannot have a good credit score if you're a person who is then probably committing frauds in the future. So. And then we realized the fraud himself, like an AI-based predictive fraud detection, has a much bigger potential, especially as a 98% prediction rate, meaning we predict fraud happening in the future, not in the past. We're not documenting the past. We predict the future with AI, 98% accuracy, and it's actually real time. So we are doing this prediction in the real time, so which is beautiful.
Yeah, just to emphasize, we are predicting what happens in future.
So we are not like some AML companies, like anti-money laundering companies who are saying like, oh, this address was interacting with Tornado, or it's some other bad properties of the address, which is like a forensic analysis. It's like a forensic database, like saying, oh, the address was involved in something bad. We are rather predicting what the address will do in the future. Okay, and this we started with the fraud. Then we started as well to do the rug pulls, predictive rug pulls. We started, fraud is, the addresses, rug pulls are the contracts. I think my kids are screaming in the background, but hey, it's okay. They will be then recorded too on the Twitter space. So, then, okay.
They go soon to sleep, Martin. So let's continue.
Yeah, let's continue. Maria. No, okay. Now she's recorded as well. So what we're speaking, the rug pull detector.
Mhm.
Predictive rug pull detector. So particularly we are predicting the rug pulls in the future. Again, like as we're predicting frauds in the future, we predict rug pulls in the future. We are not documenting rug pulls. We're saying this contract will do rug pull in the future. So it's a prediction.
Yes, and then it's up to users. Do they want to do transactions with this contract, which is going to do rug pull in future, or do they want to avoid it? So it's probably users say, oh no, I don't want to transact with a contract which is going to do rug pull, but you never know.
And then we extended it. We realized we can even predict much more behavior, like who is borrowing, like not only the frauds and rug pulls, but who will do which actions in the future. What are the intentions? And because if you know the intentions, this is like a huge gold mine. If I know someone's, because people are different, simple empathy profiles, simple like whatever. Every persons are different. We have different behaviors, and if you can predict now users' intentions, then we know as well what users are liking, which leads us to the marketing technology, one-to-one targeting, meaning that we are generating messages which are resonating with the users. So so that the platforms can target the users much better, so that the platforms can create a much higher, like how we call it, attachment, much higher likeliness feeling to the platform. And so that means the users will stay then much longer on the platform. Of course, this leads then to much better user conversion, to much better revenue. So anyhow, we started to apply then our technologies there too. So that means we have two kind of business lines. One is the fraud rug pull detection, and we offer it to individual users as well for free, so that everyone should check the addresses before interacting with them. And the other is then for the businesses. There we offer quite some products then for the businesses. Okay, that's about the ChainAware now. I think I started to speak too much about this. So no,
No, but
Tarmo,
again, Martin, to emphasize intentions, and like address will have owner will have fraudulent behavior. It's intention, or what are you interested for is intention, or what is your position in technology life cycle? It's intention. So there are many intentions we calculate. And it means we have just anonymous address, and based on anonymous address, we can say what is the behavior of a person who has key to this address. And you can stay anonymous, but we can predict what you are going to do. And these are
exactly. That's beautiful. So you can stay anonymous. So, but we predict what you're doing in the future. And this prediction is then used for the marketing technologies, okay, or the growth technologies. And it's used, of course, then to protect the platforms via the fraud, rug pull prediction technologies and so on. But yes, we don't, like Web3, the beautiful is there's no need to have KYC. There's only address, you're pseudo-anonymous or anonymous. But we predict what the addresses will do in the future. Of course, now the concept is here. We need data. Like we have a category called new addresses. If there's too little data, of course, we cannot then predict anything. But let's say if you want a real users, these real users are usually not new users. These real users are already established. They have transaction history. So that means probably new users are usually not becoming the clients on the platform. They are rather learning and getting the experiences. But someone who has already transaction history, they are then converting to the real users, not just the buying, selling token, but real users of using the Web3 tabs. Tarmo, but okay, let's move on the discussion topic. Would you like to say just a very short vision? We will say that is a ChainAware. Let's say that is a vision, and then let's go on the real AI use cases, real utility AI.
Yeah,
But please, you say the
vision of ChainAware is to provide two key technologies which bring Web3 over to exponential growth. And these key technologies are first, ad tech for Web3, and second, fraud detection for Web3. And why is it needed? Because in Web2, it was that Web2 was stuck 25 years ago, and when Google came and when fraud detection technologies came, then exponential growth started in Web2. And now Web3 is in the same situation. Web3 is stuck because of enormous fraud what we have, and because of enormous acquisition cost, because we don't have Web3 ad tech. And when we have Web3 ad tech, and when we have Web3 fraud detection technology, Web3 will go over to exponential growth. And why? Because Web3 is fully digitalized and unit costs in Web3 are at least 8 times lower than in Web2. And ChainAware has these two key technologies which will facilitate transformation of Web3 over to exponential growth. Martin, this is our vision.
And the vision is, let's just emphasize the analogy to the Web 2. Okay, it's a little bit for the older generation. Okay, in the heart, we are very young, so the technologists. Now, in the Web 2, if you look at how the internet emerged, the internet hype and so on, it was initially people were not doing transactions online because there was a credit card fraud. And because they were fearing, they had a fear the credit card data is getting stolen, some funny transactions are done, and then they spent ages of time to get the money back, or maybe they're not getting anything back. Anyhow, and this fraud or this perceived fraud and real fraud, this stopped people doing transactions, which means that the online companies, that time the internet companies, the online companies, had a very limited ways to generate revenues. Okay, this was point one. So the fraud took down the revenue possibility. So because it scared people away. Now the second thing is it took a huge money to for the customer acquisition because there were, let's say, there were 50 million people. They were the internet enthusiasts, and they were using all the different systems. But you need more than 50 million. You need to grow, and then to grow, that was the targeting technology. And that's what Google invented. Then Google used then the search history and the browser history to predict user behavior. Okay, this was then called rather microsegmentation. And based off this microsegmentation, the ad technology emerged. And Google's the ad technology, this enabled. Google did the breakthrough there. So it doesn't mean that we like Google. We just state the fact they did the breakthrough. And in this breakthrough, so practically this allowed them to Web3, Web2 platforms to take the user acquisition cost down, because if you are not generating revenues, the company will not last very long. Not everyone can be Amazon and not generate positive cash flow. I don't know how many, 10 years or 15 years. So, okay, that's the thing. And so that means we are in a very similar status between Web2 and Web3. We're speaking again of 50 million people, technology enthusiasts. But we need now to get into this exponential growth. And the question is, what is now stopping of getting to this exponential growth? And this is all vision, but this is all analysis of the same. On one side, you have to take the fraud rates down in the full Web3 ecosystem. Of course, with AI, AI is beautiful to detect the fraud. And the second is by taking down the fraud rates, then as well to increase the effectiveness of customer acquisition, because by having huge customer acquisition costs like today the Web3 platforms are having, they will never be cash flow positive. Being, one moment they will just close down the shops, they will disappear. It's about becoming cash flow positive. So, yeah, Tarmo. But okay, that's our vision. But let's go to the real AI use cases. Let's get to the topic. I'm doing so long intro today. Would you like to start?
Or Martin, maybe let's give an overview of generation use cases first. What we have? Can you mention it?
Oh yeah, okay. Now, if you're speaking AI, then we have to separate two topics there. One is generative AI, and the other is then predictive AI or the machine learning. Now, and people are very often mixing it. Now, if you're using generative AI, we are using actually someone else AI models. We're using LLMs, large scale language models, then of Google or of Twitter or of Microsoft. Okay. So we're using this generative AI, we are using someone else's models. And in a generative AI, I'm sure if you looked on the CoinGecko AI list, you see there's a chatbot generation. So practically you write a bot, a prompt. Maybe you write on the prompt 2-3 lines of prompt, and you generate this chatbot, and you're using this chatbot, or maybe your clients are using this chatbot. Or the first thing, of course, what emerged was a content generation for the marketing people. They were generating all this content for the websites to make a better SEO. But of course, the Google is not not naive. They used in the anti-AI technology then to recognize which articles were generated with AI, with generative AI, and this thing had rather negative points. This AI-driven content generation. Okay, but the AI-driven content generation. Then, of course, behind the crypto sector, we know there's a lot of Twitter bots, and a lot of Twitter bots are generated with AI, and they are not now running autonomously. It's rather a human, so like a rules-based algorithms which are triggering now what is happening now in the background. But let's say Twitter bots, they are generated as well. Then, of course, there was this NFT wave. There was this huge NFT wave, and there was this NFT generation. Okay, which was then one day it was then replaced then with the meme coins or the memes. So we had the NFT generation, then the meme generation, then of course a smart contract generation. But you see in the generation, that is this it's like you generate it one time, you generate your chatbot, you have it, then your website visitors are using it, or you generate your NFTs and you are selling them. So this is like, it's not continuous integration. It's using this generative AI. You use it as a tool. Just to do certain tasks more effectively. But it's not integration, because in the case of Web3, we are always speaking of 100% integration, meaning end-to-end integrated business processes. Now, by using generative AI, it's rather that some employees then using these tools. Yeah. Okay, but Tarmo, would you like to speak some ML, some machine learning, some predictive AI?
Yes, and what is in generation, just to emphasize, in generation, you can't say what is accuracy of generation if you have generative AI. What is the accuracy? You can't, you just generate something, but is it correct? Is it not correct? You even can't prove it. Of course, if it's source code, we can go over into mathematical methods to prove it. It's another topic. But if it's text, is this text correct or wrong? Is it hallucination or otherwise strange? You can't prove it. And this is in generative AI. It just generates something. And when we go over now to machine learning models that are in place already some 30, 40 years, in machine learning models, we can say what is accuracy of prediction. Like in fraud detection, we can say our fraud detection is 98% accurate. It means address where we say it has fraudulent behavior, it will do, or which will have, where we recognize it will do fraudulent behavior in future, it will do 98% probability fraudulent behavior. And this is now very distinguishing between generative AI and machine learning. In machine learning, we have actionable intelligence. We know we can use this data. We know the accuracy. And when we are talking, for example, fraud detection probability, 98% prediction, if you take a human employee in back offices somewhere or middle offices in corporates, the accuracy is some 97%. And when we have machine learning models which accuracy is already 98, 99%, these are significantly better than human employees. And now in machine learning, you can say my model has predictive power with following accuracy. And
because you are doing backtesting, because in ML, machine learning, predictive AI, all models are backtesting. That's how the models.
yes, Martin, you went mute now. And what we have in machine learning now, let's be specific. We have what are these applications? These are of course trading bots, and in trading bots you need accuracy for entry of trade and for exit of trade, and you need accuracy at least some 66% to be profitable. When you have this accuracy, you can have if there are very small transaction costs, you can have trading bots which produce profit. You can generate with machine learning also trading signals, and these are trading signals where you take, for example, all indicators. There are hundreds of indicators starting from MACD and gammas, and so. But also you can recognize just like graph patterns, resistances, all these patterns that we have in charting technologies, and you can do predictions in this way. Of course, if you do prediction based on these chart patterns, your accuracy goes down. With indicators, you have significantly higher predictive power, and these are trading signals. And what we have also, what we in ChainAware have is fraud detection, and where we have 98% accuracy. We can say 98% we predict this address is going to do a fraud. And we have also rug pull detection, and rug pull is for contracts. When we have addresses, we do fraud. When we have contracts, then we predict is this contract going to the rug pull or not. And what is rug pull? It means the contract just takes all the money out. All the money that was in contract is gone. Not 2% gone or 3%, 100% is gone. So you lose everything. And we can predict that the contract is going to the rug pull again with very high accuracy. And what it means, if you have it doing your Solana nice pump and fun stuff, or Binance invest into pools, we know the numbers. The numbers are that very high percentage of contracts is going to the rug pull. And when you use our algorithms, we will say, okay, this contract will do rug pull, this will not do. So it's for investors who want to know where they invest. And then by machine learning, we have also ad tech, where we calculate users' intentions, and then based on intentions, we make ads which resonate with users. It's like somebody knows you very well and talks with you exactly so that you both have rapport, you both understand with each other very well, and this is possible if you know the personality of others. And as mentioned, our ad tech don't know who is behind the address. All we take is on-chain data, and from on-chain data we calculate out what are intentions of users, and then we can generate messages which resonate with a user because they are based on users' intentions. And then, please, yes.
Yeah, and then it's like a two-step process. From one side, you use the prediction technology to predict like what the address is doing in the future, and then actually we're using the generative technology to auto-generate as well the messages. And of course, the marketing people, they can always review, they can refine and so, but this initial idea to generate very resonating messages. And you use the word, Tarmo, it's about creating the rapport, creating the attachment, creating the likeness, because
attachment and engagement. This is engagement, yes. But people feel engaged.
We want because people, if they're engaged, if they're attached, they will stay longer on your platform. But that's the best of a Web3 founder that you can have. If the visitors are staying longer on the platform, not that they are coming like with some cold traffic. If you generate cold traffic, they're coming to a website and then they disappear in 12 seconds. That's not the idea. I mean, KOL traffic. It's more that they're getting your website, they're getting engaged because they're getting resonating messages. So.
Yes, Martin, it's not 12 seconds. If users comes from calls, it's maybe 3-4 seconds. And
12 seconds. All statistics were 12 seconds, but in 12 seconds, they just open a page, they press page down, and then they jump. It means there is no focus, but you have someone to bind the people. What is here, this thinking, what we see, okay, we have spoken so much about Web3 marketing in our previous 6 spaces. The Web3 marketing today, this main motto is there that everyone is getting the same message. Everyone. Even independently of your age, location, technology. I mean, the standard parameters. Now, we're not speaking of intentions. Now, intentions are behavioral parameters, even independently of descriptive parameters. So, and of course, the conversion rates are so low. Of course, the engagements are going down. Okay, the engagements are down, meaning conversion, resulting conversion is low. So, because this is, of course, happening so. But then how do we get out of this is then one-to-one. We calculate what is the user intentions, and we create the content for these intentions to get higher engagements. So, yeah, okay. Tarmo, I was jumping in, but please continue.
Yes, and then by machine learning, what else do we have? It is credit scoring, where if you are in this normal fiat economy, everything works with credit scoring. In Visa score, or what is it? And yeah, FICO score, and you get your interest based on it. You can buy more, buy less based on it. Most of decisions are based it, and if you are B2B, business to business partner, it's the same. So credit scoring is basis in economy, and we offer also calculated credit score, and this is already 4 years old model, or almost 5 years, Martin. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And of course, there are some others applications.
Let me say about the others. So, okay, because we were thinking with Tarmo, like how to classify these others, so we just said others. The one topic is obviously transaction classification. Okay, as well as labeling, that you label. So what the user has done, like a pre-data processing, and labeling, for example, is used for the tax audits. They need to know, is it a borrow transaction or is it a lend transaction? Because just the tax rules are different. So you need this transaction classification. But how much AI you need now for the classification, or is it rather rules based? Okay, that's a separate discussion. But okay, let's say that there is a transaction classification. So then one topic is of course a smart contract audit. Okay, practically that you put the smart contracts in your smart contracts and it will scan them and so on. Now, but there's a lot of rules-based scanners already. Like every big audit company that they're doing is they're using initially rules-based scanners, and then there's of course the human interface, the human analysis on top of this. But then of course you can now add the AI as well. But I'm not so sure that this AI-based audits they will find more than the rules-based scanners. Okay, maybe, but I'm not so sure because technically speaking, we're speaking here of the rules because they're all this. It's like the rules of like how the systems are kind of broken. Like what are the patterns? Just recognizing this in the code. Yeah, but yeah, of course, then probably in the future, then AI can take over more of this. Tarmo, what do you think on the smart contract audits?
Oh, what should I say? These are real-time systems, and real-time systems depend a lot about external inputs, and there is no way to predict in which sequence external inputs will come to a contract. You can run huge simulations, but you will not get 100% accuracy. And what it means is that all these contracts, audits, what are done, these are done in a way that we are in an idealized environment where everybody is happy and there is no frauds and fraudulent behavior is on the inside the contract. And this is not the case in crypto. And this is also what you see is that these most famous platforms, they do 10, 15, 20 different contract audits for the same contract with an hope, with opium that maybe it is more secure. No, it is not more secure. If you have real-time behavior, you cannot predict exactly what happens. And okay, Martin, yeah.
Yes. Okay, and then maybe let's jump then from the contract audit. Then as well, there's something called category called DAO governance. And okay, we have long time been thinking what is this DAO governance? Actually, it's a proposal review, and it's like okay, guys, it's like yeah, well, it's not a major use case. It's just a small small step for the humanity and probably small step for the men and for the whole humanity. Yeah. Okay, and then let's say there is one category we can speak of the DeFi AI or DeFi or so on. And this is of course very nice because these are like a real use cases, but there is always like okay, we will now look on these use cases and we'll think of this. How much can other platforms use them? Now, one of them is of course a trade routing. Trade routing, like practically that your trades are routed to the best pools and so on. But that's as well that pretty often a rules-based system, and these trade routing systems are already effective today at the moment. But of course, you can add
it is rule-based system, Martin. Emphasis rules-based system, manually extracted rules, knowledge of somebody who knows. Okay, when I route trades this way, it is most profitable. It's nothing to do with AI or machine learning, but somehow what happens is now these manual rule-based systems are called AI.
Okay, maybe
surprise.
they have like a 90% of rules based, and then they are making some little AI. I don't know. They generate a little text on top of this. Okay, just okay. Then there is as well a yield farming, but there is as well again like a routing, like to which yield farming pool is ongoing. But again, with AI, we can do it. But let's say there are different parameters coming here. Money is involved. It's a risk. We're speaking of the rug pull detection. We're speaking other risk. We're speaking attack risk. We're speaking return. Okay, risk and return are always associated. So okay, in the yield farming as well, it's a lot of rules based. Of course, AI components can be added. But now the question is, of course, how much can other platforms integrate it? Is it something that you are doing on your platform, and how much they offer it to the other platform? So that means in DeFi AI, when platforms are doing this, they are doing it rather from themselves. They're using it in their platform, their own developed AI, besides than the rules-based systems. But it's not that there's a service API then the other platforms to integrate. Then there is a portfolio management in a DeFi AI too. But let's say portfolio management, it's a very old discipline. Okay, Tarmo and I, we work in Credit Suisse private banking, and it's all driven by the portfolio management. And we are huge systems. These are rules-based systems. It's not like we
Mhm.
are applying now AI. What I'm doing as an expert in these situations,
And,
they are
and,
all
and,
the
and
rules.
and Martin, emphasis portfolio management systems have to be auditable and 100% auditable. Why did
100%
you do this decision? And if you go now over to AI models, you will not have or machine learning models 100% accuracy.
auditable. So,
But then comes your audit and oh surprise, why did you do this decision? I don't know. And gone. You can close down your company. And portfolio management has to be fully explain why I did two following decisions, and you have to explain it to your customers and auditors. And the first are auditors. Just to
mhm.
maybe add some.
And if customers are losing certain amount of money, they will be angry as well. And then you have to explain as well to the customers, why did your system took this decision? You cannot just say, you know what, my AI made a decision. Okay, you can try it. Okay, have fun.
You can try. You can try. Have fun. You end up in court, and you know what's the output. So yeah.
Okay, then there is as well a prediction markets. And okay, in this case, I think AI is a pretty effective term, like a
Yes.
pattern recognition, prediction method, so that we have always to separate. Is it the rule-based systems, because a lot of rules-based systems are getting now these AI flavors, or is it really like where we recognize new patterns? And when we recognize new patterns, like prediction markets, that's then AI is perfect. So anyhow, time is ticking. Okay, we started like 5 minutes lower later because today I had to switch then from the computer to mobile. Always some little Twitter surprises. Okay, but we're very thankful to the X for the possibility to do the X spaces. But Tarmo, now let's start to analyze these AI use cases, and always from this point of view, like how much can then other Web3 projects like 50,000, 100,000 Web3 projects integrate them? What can they integrate it? And
Yes. Question is very simple. Is it something you will need continuously, or is it once per week action? And if it is once per week action, what happens is Web3 companies they take an employee and employee does this task. But then it is not anymore Web3. Just to repeat, Web3 means 100% automation. It doesn't mean that you have business process and then human employee comes and you continue business process. This is Web2 or Web1.
yeah, the so-called Twitter intern is coming, and the intern is then generating some bots and lets these bots then do like distribute some content. Uh, that's manual work. That's using a tool. And so if you are speaking, there's an integration versus a tool. A
Mhm.
human employee is using a tool. He's generating something. He puts his data something. Oh, he lets it run. So it's a tool. So, but it's not continuously integrated. So that means that it's integrated into my business process. Now, let's go on this business process word now. So because every Web3 project has its own business processes, and there are the core business processes, there's the supporting business processes, and now we are integrating AI into these business processes. And then the separation is it continuous? And if you're speaking continuous, then we get easily into the discussion of AI agents. But that's another X spaces. We have done a lot of them. So is it continuous or is it like sporadic? So now and then, so once a week, like end of every month or so, that I'm using some little AI generation. So that means, is it just a tool or is it continuous integration? Now, continuous integration, it means as well that there is an API. That this API can be integrated in a business process of a Web3 company so that he can continuously use it. And now let's use this framework and of these AI use cases that we were speaking just 10 minutes ago.
Let me run through generation use cases. And first we have chatbots, and of course you can say chatbots are continuous, but they are not really continuous because nobody wants to use them. The key is that when users understand that it is a chatbot, they don't waste their time. They switch over. Next is content generation for marketing, etc. Again, one-time activity. You generate content, you come back in 2 weeks.
It's a tool. You use a tool. You generate something with a tool. Then you look later. You look what are the KPIs? Did they have some impact or not?
Yeah. It means some human employee comes, not an AI agent. No human employee. The same is with Twitter, but somebody comes and just presses buttons and does the human activity. And NFT generation, it's the same. You do it maybe 2-3 times, and the restraint is gone. There is so high oversaturation in NFT markets.
Okay, maybe use these NFTs in your sales, in your marketing process. You give the communities, community members. And maybe some of the NFTs they get as well some little utility. Utility value additional that kind of offer a utility. But it's still it's like a one-time process. You are not integrating, you are using it as a tool. So, and that what we see on this generative AI very much is you are integrating it as a tool, but it doesn't mean that your project is now an AI has integrated AI. He's using AI now just as a tool, which is a very smart thing to do. But now the next level is, of course, that we want to get the AIs in the business processes, in the fully automated business processes. Okay.
And then we have smart contract generation, Martin. It is more hello world cases and I managed to generate 10 lines of code smart contract. It is and also one-time activity. You generated it and then you do release 2 in 4 years and you generate again. It's not continuous, and these are all these generative AI use cases. These are like one-time activities. These are not continuous activities. And when we again take now transactions labeling, it's also one-time activity. Smart contract audit, one-time activity. DAO governance, one-time activity. It's all like
sporadic reviews, so that some review is submitted in and then AI is reviewing it and giving some pros and contras. Okay, I don't believe that this because DAO governance, it means there will be decisions, which means the money in the background, and that okay, AI will do the maybe initial review, but somehow I so overhyped this DAO governance with an AI. Okay, so be it. But that's the focus is at the real AI, what every project can integrate. So some topics have been a little bit overhyped. So be it. Okay, other projects are doing this, but we focus on the real utility AI. What is integratable? What others can integrate?
Yes, and then we're going to go over into DeFi AI use cases, trade routing. It is optimization problem at the end. You have to please.
Traveling salesman, because if you have a lot of rules, a lot of paths, this is a traveling salesman algorithm.
You can do your A star and to find the best path through this option space, solution space. This is optimization problem. Same is yield farming, optimization problem. A-star algorithm, this is how word solves today these problems. If you have this huge travel incidents problem and you run A-star.
Tarmo, but let me
Yes.
add here as well, even if this yield farming, this or the trade routing, like why should me as a Web3 project integrate someone else's trade routing algorithm? Why should me as a Web3 project integrate someone's yield farming optimization algorithm? So this is, even if this AI is then put then into place there beside these rules and optimization, standard optimization algorithm, then it's a rather offering of a specific project. It's not that someone else will integrate it. So as well, because we want to see which AIs are integratable. So, okay, but Tarmo, back to you. Yeah.
Yes, which AI is integratable? This is and now you go over to portfolio management. We spoke about it. It is fully rule based and it has to be 100% auditable. Predictions market. Again, Martin, what do you think about prediction markets?
Okay, the prediction market AI perfectly matches there, like predictive AI perfectly matches this. But again, can I, as a Web3 project, integrate prediction market algorithms? So should I integrate them from my token or for Bitcoin or for Ethereum or for BNB? Okay, some tokens are not named. Please don't raise the voice here. So, but it's again this yes, prediction market use case AI perfectly fits there. But the question is here now, can others integrate?
Do I integrate it? No, there is nothing to integrate. And the same with risk management. There is, if somebody says, I do AI-based risk management, okay.
Okay, Tarmo and I, we are CFAs. Okay, CFAs is a chartered financial analyst. Okay, when working at Credit Suisse in this position but you had to be a CFA, you had to be an MBA. I mean, you just had to have this know-how. It was assumed you have the know-how, you know what you're speaking. And risk management is rules-based. It's not that you're putting AI here and now like, hey, here are my trades and what I have done, now figure out the risk. Well, it doesn't work. It's rules-based. But a position monitoring system, like, okay, it goes similar to portfolio management, position monitoring. So it's as well a rules-based system. So the rules are in place, and even some rules are then regulatory mandated, which you have to follow. So, or you are like investment fund, you follow certain rules, other rules. So these are rules-based system. Of course, some AI flavor can be added. Okay, but even now, if you develop the systems, how should I, as a Web3 project, integrate this? Even let's say now this risk management system is AI based. Okay, so we say it should be rules based, or they are rules based de facto. Then how would I integrate, or what's the point for me to integrate someone's risk management system into my platform? It doesn't. There's no point. So and what we see here that in case of DeFi AI, okay, then many are speaking that they are using now AI, although these are standard optimization algorithms or standard rules-based algorithms. Okay, maybe they're adding a little AI like I was called AI taste there, so be it. But why should others integrate? Why should others integrate whether sniping bots or trading bots or so? And here we see, that means now if you're looking on this framework, then, and if you're speaking, which AI processes, which AI use cases can the existing platforms integrate? We see that this set of these use cases gets smaller and smaller. Tarmo, or what do you think?
Yes, and please, what's your opinion about this ML options?
And in ML, okay, ML, predictive AI, because there's always generative AI versus predictive AI. Now, predictive AI is much more like a real AI, a real ability AI, because of we know the accuracy. The models are developed based on the accuracy. Like if you have a bad model with a bad accuracy, no one is using it. So you have to tune your not to tune, sorry, but iteratively develop your models that you get a high qualitative accuracy on the data which you have never seen, never used before. Not on your training data. Of course, on training data you get a high accuracy. On non-training data that you're getting high accuracy. So Now the trading bots, yeah, a perfect case. Okay, pattern recognition, new patterns recognition, full AI, the full perfectly AI matches here. But now as well, like if I'm a Web3 project and I want to integrate it, then yeah, how do I integrate trading bot into my Web3 platform? Why should I do it? That's the first. Is there a business concept behind? So probably there is no. Now, trading signals. It's perfect. Trading signals. That's the AI. It's analyzing because you see, if you can write down the rules, you don't need the AI. But trading signals meaning we don't know the rules yet. Okay, there are maybe some basic rules and so, but then more advanced rules, AI will filter it out. So trading signal again perfect. And maybe a trading signal APIs can be integrated, but again, the trading signals, they are sold, I think usually they are sold to individual investors and not to the other Web3 projects. Why should Web3 projects integrate the trading signals? Now, but now the next one, fraud detection. And now we are getting to these a little bit topics where we think that everyone, and of course, it matches with the ChainAware AI vision. And what we're saying that everyone can and should integrate these are fraud detection, predictive output detection, or predictive always. It, it's like predicting things before they happen. Like in a ChainAware that you integrate all system, you integrate all pixel, but all pixel is then monitoring the Web3 connection, and if the new Web3 connections are created, immediately the address is taken, the address is analyzed, the platform is getting notification, the platform can decide does it want to continue with this address or not. But because let's say some of our clients are saying if there are bad addresses, they don't want to deal with bad addresses. They just shadow ban them. So why to deal with the bad addresses? No, the others are then they say like, who cares? Money is money and money doesn't stink. Okay, these are two different views. Our view is still that the fraud detection should be run on every address which is connecting to the platform continuously. And the bad addresses should be excluded from the ecosystem, not just on ecosystem on platform one or platform two, but on everyone. So that means the more platforms will integrate predictive fraud detection, the more we can exclude the bad addresses from the ecosystem. Because we just spoke in the beginning of the deep spaces, what's our vision? And we said it's history is not repeating, history is rhyming, and we are in the same situation where the Web 2 was. The Web 2, the fraud ratios were high and this scared away the people because people were scared away the online businesses were not generating revenues because people were not transacting because they had a fear that the credit card data is stolen. And this was solved then with AI-based transaction monitors. Now the same here. Let's put the AI-based transaction monitors, AML and transaction. AML is a very rules-based system. If someone is telling you AML, AI-based doesn't exist. AML is rules-based, it's codified, it's even in the law, it's written in the law what you have to do. Now, and then transaction monitoring is written as well in the law, and transaction monitoring is exactly that you try to identify new patterns, unknown patterns, what the fraudsters are using. And yeah, this is something that every project should integrate, and they become using AI. And the same as well on Rockwell. Oh, Tarmo, what's your take? I'm talking.
Yes, agreed. Yeah, Martin, we are going slowly.
No, but we started 5 minutes later as well because
Yeah.
I switched from the desktop to the mobile because I'm speaking on mobile to
Yeah.
Twitter. It was very interesting. I think last week or 1 week ago we had one this X space and it took me 15 minutes to get at all in. Oh, okay, so we just have sometimes this technical issue. So
Yeah.
be it. Okay, but now for the
But
ML,
to summarize, ML is something that gives you accuracy and you can integrate it. You know what you get. You know decision is accuracy so and so. You know what you are dealing, and you can integrate it over APIs. And this is perfect for agents. So when we speak about AI agents, these are agents for trading bots, agents for trading signals, agents for fraud detection, agents for route pool detections, agents for Web3 ad tech, agents for credit scoring. This is where you can build agents. All the other generative AI and all the other what we have mentioned, it's more like it is a tool, one-time activity, and then you use it
or
again in 7
or
months.
or rules-based with an optimization problem. So we saw that there's actually two categories. One is this one-time activity or sporadic activity, and the other is where you're dealing with optimization problem
Yes,
where you have a standard
you use
algorithm.
AI instead of taking Astar algorithm. Yes, okay, yeah, and and uh, and and when we emphasis now when we talk about AI agents, it is very narrow space actually where you can have these AI agents, because most of areas where we say all this generative AI, all diff AI, most of diff AI, you have these tools or fully Star algorithm, and it is not something where you can build an agent which learns, improves, gets better, and gets superhuman performance. This
Or
is
maybe, Tarmo, there is this one criteria. Maybe you can build this agent, but you use it. This is for yourself only. You are
Mhm.
not so, and then you are selling the usage to the retail investors or the other investors, let's say trading bots or trading signals and so on. But you have the agent. It's not that the other is using the agent. You have it. The other is just using it. Oh, over to you. Back to you.
Yes, what I wanted to say is that space where you have these AI agents is actually very small, and most of this what we spoke is it is these are not agentic. When we use now this password agentic, uh, these are just tools for one time activity, and you repeat it in 9 months later. Yeah, but real AI agents are for continuous activities, and these are activities
Continuous
which you
process.
yes you
Continuous
integrate
process.
it into your business processes, and this provide the value to customers, the superior value, and the more these agents learn, the higher the value, the higher it gets superhuman performance. And here we have to be very clear where is the superhuman performance possible and where it's not. And superhuman performance is key for AI agents. When they learn, they get better and better and better. And if it is just a tool, I generate NFT and I generate it in 3 months again, but there is no superhuman performance. It is just a tool. But when you go now over to trading bots or fraud detection, credit scoring, ad tech, here you can build up models which have superhuman performance. And these
And
are
you can
agentic flows. Martin, to you.
and you can integrate them into your business process. And with this, you will create more value for your clients.
Mhm, mhm. And just when I have a UI and I invoke some generator of some content, it doesn't mean superhuman performance. It means agent means it learns, it reflects, it continuously gets better. And here we have to be very careful that we understand that agents are possible in a very narrow area where we can really build AI agents in Web3. Just to summarize, Martin.
hmm hmm So, and yeah, okay, let's start to then summarize, let's start to finalize. So, okay, the topic today is which real AI utility can then every Web3 project integrate already now? So, and then we look from framework point of view that there are tools versus then there are continuous processes. And then we looked as well that there is a category, even if it's a continuous process, is it a rules-based process? Or is it somewhere where we need an AI, this topic? And now if you have the AI, that means probably we don't have rules, we don't know exact rules. We have kind of, it's a fuzzy state. fuzzy data. So, and from this data, we try to make decisions. So otherwise it's rules. For rules, then you are dealing with a standard optimization problem. So, or if it's a non-continuous activity, meaning you're doing now and then, you're generating little content here and there, you don't need an agent for this. This is a human extension, a human improvement. No, but what it means now, for every Web3 project, if you want to integrate something, that means via the APIs, via the continuous activities. And I think these key things, Tarmo, that we listed here. But now, but we went to the filter process, let's say. Okay, trading signals, trading bots, fraud detection, rug detection, Web3 ad tech, one-to-one targeting, continuous credit scoring. Let's say these are the key use cases which everyone can integrate and everyone can benefit.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to summarize from my side, we showed that AI agents which you can integrate, it's very narrow space, and this is area where we can get the highest benefit out of AI, and to emphasize is it is the longer these agents learn, these continuous agents, the better they get. Come and look in some months what's the performance of these agents. You will meet already superhuman performance, and this is where we can create really benefit for all Web3 users. Martin.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So this was then the X-Space number 32. We try to keep it on 60 minutes. Okay, today we had a little technical issues on the beginning. Sorry for this. we try all the time to figure it out how to do X-Spaces without technical issues. We succeed, let's say, in 80% of cases. In 20% of cases, like today, okay, I had to switch from desktop to mobile, so it worked out nicely. So, guys, then thank you for listening. And we put the summaries in our blog, chainaware.ai/blog. And there are summaries of our earlier X-Spaces too. You just read it through. They're very high quality content. So, the X-Space, maybe you need 2 minutes to read it through. And it's like a structure, it's like a framework, like that you can analyze what is happening, why it's happening, what will happen as a next. Yeah, have a look on them. And if you have more time, then you can, of course, listen to the earlier recordings. We put them on the YouTube with a little delay, but we put them on the YouTube. And yeah, so I hope you enjoy this X-Spaces, and please share them. And yeah, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Bye.